Hi, this is David McCann for Elementor 360. In this video, I'm going to take a look at dynamic content for Elementor, specifically using dynamic date conditions. The Elementor 360 website's 2 years old, and I'm in the process of updating it. The first step was to switch to the Bloxy Pro theme, and I did a tutorial on that. The next steps now involve replacing the functionality of several plugins with dynamic content for Elementor. I didn't know about dynamic content for Elementor when I first built the site, and only learned of it about 6 months later, after I had everything working. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use dynamic and replace 3 plugins: Unlimited Elements for Elementor, Ninja Tables, and Ninja Tables Pro. If you're not familiar with dynamic content for Elementor, it's a unique Elementor add-on. It has a ton of features, and the widgets and extensions are not your usual types of flip boxes or things like that. Instead, they're features that are targeted towards either developers or designers. It seems like most of the features fall into one or the other of those camps. Dynamic content for Elementor is a good choice for me to cover some of the harder, non-typical types of functionality that I used Unlimited Elements for Elementor and Ninja Tables to fill. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is, if we look at this resources page and we look at the single for one of the resources, we see it has an on sale banner, and this is dynamically generated based on some dates in this custom post type, and I'll show you that in a minute. But see, Astra is currently on sale, but if we look at, say, Generate Press, you'll see that no sales banner shows for that. So let's look at what the fields are. Here I have the title, the description, featured image. Then I have some advanced custom fields. A link, this is the affiliate link for the product. I have a message that tells about the sale. And then I have a start date and an end date, when the sale starts and when it ends. So in order to display this banner dynamically, I'm using a widget that I created called Sale Message. And you can see that it allows you to pick the message, the start and the end date. Okay, and that is right here. And this is an Unlimited Elements widget that I created. That's a content box, but this widget I created using their widget builder. And their widget builder is really cool. I like it a lot. It's just that as I add dynamic content for Elementor, I can do away with a couple of other plugins. So I can be a little more efficient since I'm using dynamic, which has these advanced features. So the widget builder, you kind of define some parameters for your widget. You have your attributes, like these custom fields. Then you create your HTML, and this uses Twig. And so I'm using kind of the conditional logic here in Twig in this HTML, and you add your CSS and JavaScript, and you can include your libraries and have images and stuff like that. So this is cool, but it took me probably a day or something to read the documentation and experiment and get this working. All right, so now instead, what I want to do is we'll install dynamic content for Elementor. So I'm installing it. I'll activate it. Okay, and now I'll add the license. When you install dynamic, you get this menu item, and you can see that there are a number of features. There's also a template system, so you can create content templates for the content area on your page. It's disabled by default. And then this is where you would enter your API keys, like for Google Maps and things like that. All right, so I'm going to go back now that this is installed to this page in the Elementor editor. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to delete that one. And then I'm going to add a button in here. And we'll center that. And for the message, we'll pick that promotion message field. So there's that. For the link, then we'll have that link for the sale. Okay. Then we'll add an icon. And we'll give that a little spacing. Okay. So it's starting to look very similar to what we had before. Let's make this a little bigger and maybe increase the weight a little bit. We'll give a text color of that dark green and the background color of that light green. Okay. And then we'll give it a border. We'll give the border color that dark green color and give it a radius and maybe a little padding. Okay, so that's very similar to what we had before, so that's good. Maybe it needs a little margin at the top. Let's see if we can give it a little margin at the top. Okay, now we're going to make sure we're editing the button widget and we go to visibility. This is a very powerful feature of dynamic content for Elementor. I'm going to turn on to allow visibility options. You can see you have some options like even when it's hidden to keep the HTML, whether it's show or hide based on the condition, other options. What I'm going to do here is go down to the date time options. Okay, so I'm going to enable that. And in the from date, we're going to select this ACF field, date field, promotion start. And for the to date, we'll do the same thing, but this time we'll select the end date. Okay, so let's update this. Going to exit. We'll go to the page to take a look. And here it is. Here's our sales banner. And if we look at one that's not on sale to check and make sure it's working, we see it's not showing there. Okay, so that took us 5 minutes or something to do, and it took me a day to create that widget. So I'm very pleased with that. It's working great. Okay, when people are looking at the resources, they don't want to go through these one by one to find out which ones are on sale. So what I did is I created a page, and this lists out the items that currently have a sale going. All right, so this page kind of very nicely lists the ones that are on sale so people don't have to go through them one by one. Did you notice? Let's come back to this. I just want to show you one thing here. Notice when it loads, there's that pause before it shows. So this table's created using Ninja Tables Pro. And it's a good tool also, but it's a little tricky to read. It has to read those dates from the custom field and only show the ones that are on sale. And the way I figured out how to do that was that I start out not showing the table, having it hidden, and then it gets all of those resources and loops through them all using jQuery each, and finds the ones that are on sale and shows those and hides the others, and then it makes the table visible. So this takes some time. That's why we have that moment where the table's not showing, and this is probably not ideal, bringing back the whole list of all the resources. So anyway, this is the way that I did this with Ninja Tables a couple years ago, and it's been working. But now that I have dynamic content, I'm thinking I can do it in Elementor, and it's going to be a little bit better. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a template for the row. Let's look at the rows here. So basically, each of these rows will have the featured image, the title, the sales information, and then a button to the link. So I'm going to create a template to do that. If you've used the WordPress loop before or something like L Custom Skin, you can create a single item. So I'm going to start, and there were 4 columns there. So in this one, I'm going to add an image, and we'll make it the featured image. And let's see, we want it to be a smaller size. Then unfortunately this isn't kind of showing, so we're going to have to probably do a little trial and error here. But then in this one, then we'll put the heading, and we'll have a dynamic tag, and we'll do post title. and we'll set it to be a 3 tag. Then here we'll have the message for the item on sale. Promotion message. And again, it's not showing because we don't have a preview set for this. Then we'll add the button and we'll give it the text. And for the link, then we'll grab that link. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and style this and make the size of that, say 20. And let's make the weight a little heavier. And then we'll make the text color that purple and the background color white. Use that same purple here. Okay. Then this can get made smaller, I think. All right, and maybe this can. Now I want to give a background color here. So let's go to Style for this section and we'll enter a color. Okay, the same gray we've got up here. And then for each of these columns, I want to give a border here. And we'll use, say, this color for the border. So that's the same thing for this one. 2 more to go. Last one. Okay, I think we're about done. Let's check here on the settings. Oh, we could have done one of these. Let's do that. So here we go. That looks kind of large. Let's make it 100 by 100. Okay. Let's see if we can align the items in this row. There we go. And I think this to be visible, we're going to need to make that bold or something. Otherwise it'll be too light. Okay, so there's our single row. Let's publish that. Now for the magic part. Let's exit and go to that page. Let's edit this page. It's this page here, currently on sale. So we're trying to get something like this. And let's see, currently on sale. So this is in Gutenberg. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete these out. This is that table. And if we go to the Blocksy settings, page title, it's disabled. Okay, good. So let's update that. And now let's edit with Elementor. Let's add a heading. This will be currently on sale. Make this an H1. Okay, so let's add a row. And let's search for views. This is a dynamic content for Elementor Power widget. We have pages, users, terms. We'll have a grid. We'll have space between items 0. For select, we can use fields, text, or template. We may have been able to just pick our fields and style it all here, but I think the template's going to be easier, so that's why I went with template. Okay, and then in the from criteria, we don't want posts. We want these extensions. Where they're published is good. And then let's do our sort. We want to sort by title. Here we are, post title. All right, so we've got them in the correct order. Our heading isn't showing that. May mean we have to go back to our template and adjust that. But let's see what else we have here. Let's see, let's add some no results thing. Sorry, no sales found. Okay, we don't need that. We're not going to use group by. All right, so I think we're ready now for our dynamic date condition. So we want to use that start date, promotion start, great. And then if the start date is less than or equal to today, so if the sale started before today or today, and then in the value area, we want to do a dynamic option. Let's pick a token. Now, I was playing around with this, and now there is a current date time. This is a server time. I tried that. That works, so that's cool. But just to do it the same way as I'm doing on the other page, let's go to a token. And for the token, we will add date, and then we'll put in our mask, our date mask. Capital Y is for 4-digit date. Small m is for 2-digit month. Small d is for 2-digit day. All right, there's our token. Now let's add the end date. Try promotion, promotion end. And now if the end date is greater than or equal to today, and we will go down to our token and we'll add that same thing, the date with the mask. Okay. Now one more thing we have to do, this is on OR, and those are AND conditions. So let's go to this one, set that to AND. I'm just going to save this. Ooh, and it's already showing the right ones. We do have a problem here where we don't have our correct heading showing. All right, so there's our table though, so that's awesome. Let's go and edit that template to get the correct name of the resource. Here it is. Yeah, so when I did that, I didn't get the post title in there. Great. All right, let's look at the finished result. This is the old one, and refreshing the page. Here's the new one. All right, so that was not too hard, didn't take too long, and I think it's attractive. So that's our walkthrough portion. Now for some discussion and conclusions. So this is the second tutorial where I've worked on updating an existing Elementor site. In the first one, we looked at the process I use for changing themes on a live site. And in that one, I switched from the Page Builder Framework theme to the Bloxy theme. And in the process, I was able to eliminate a couple of plugins that were no longer needed. Now I'm looking at ways to use fewer plugins by using dynamic content for Elementor, which is a power tool. The conditional display of content is advanced functionality. In my case, it's an automation feature, so I don't have to manually turn on and off the display of the sales information for each of the themes and plugins. There was nothing wrong with unlimited elements or Ninja tables. I was using those tools to conditionally display the sales banner and to list the themes and plugins that were currently on sale. When I first built the website, it took me about a day to create the sales banner widget using unlimited elements. I had to learn how the widget maker worked and learn about the Twig templating engine it used. And it took me a good half a day to figure out and test the JavaScript that I used to hide the rows in that Ninja table for the current sales page. So today, as we saw, it took less than an hour to test and style both the changes to the single resource page and the current sales page. Dynamic content for Elementor visibility extension was just a better solution, and it's a good example of using the right tool for the job. I also use the Views widget from the Dynamic toolbox. It has the ability to use a template for the loop item. Programmers are familiar with the process of looping over results to process or display them. This is something that most Elementor post widgets hide from users. But by exposing this option, the Views widget is much more flexible. I still have work to do to bring the Elementor 360 website up to date, but I was pleased that I can reduce the number of plugins used by bringing dynamic content for Elementor into the mix. Have you had a similar experience updating your sites? If so, please let me know in the comments. So that's a tutorial of using dynamic content for Elementor date conditions. There's a text version of this video available on the Elementor 360 website, along with other resources, tutorials, and reviews. Hope you found the video useful. Thank you for watching.